Magical Montreal in Quebec, Canada was the latest stop in the World Triathlon Championship Series. A brand new format too, a super sprint elimination event. 30 women qualified from the previous day. They then raced 3 times in quick succession, with the last 10 over the line eliminated in the first 2. That left the remaining 10 to fight for gold, silver and bronze. Tactics all important in steaming hot conditions. The favourite was Flora Duffy, who had won Olympic gold just 3 weeks earlier and decimated the field in the process. This, though, was a completely different distance. This is the first race of 3, 30 women, 10 would be eliminated after the 300-metre swim, 7.2k bike, and then 2,000-metre run. The big names all at the front early on, out the water and on the bike. Duffy, Spivey, Zafiris, the 2 Americans. Taylor Knibb, who had been excellent in qualifying on the previous day. You can see the advantage that the 2 Americans and the Bermudian had, and relaxed enough, Spivey and Duffy, to have a little chat. They knew they were going to qualify easily. The first 20 women would progress to race 2. The big name casualty was Elise Beto. She had a bike incident. You see her there finishing 28th, so she was out. No joy either for the Australian Natalie Van Koeverden, who finished in the worst possible place, 1 spot out of qualifying for the second race. The brilliant swimmer Victoria Lopez also eliminated in that first race of 3. On to the second race then, and in the water, again, the usual candidates. Sophie Caldwell and Taylor Knibb were prominent. Just 300 metres, around about 4 minutes of swimming, at least for those at the front. And Duffy perfectly placed again as they got onto the bikes. 3 laps, and there was a fascinating scenario. 8 women were clear. These 4 in 9th, 10th, 11th and 12th, so only 2 of them would qualify. The leading group some 40 seconds ahead. And it was Non-Stanford, former world champion, and Van der Kay of New Zealand who proved the stronger. They took 9th and 10th respectively. Up ahead though, Knibb, Zafiris, no problems, and a bit further back was Duffy, safely through. These were the eliminated women. Emma Jackson, a former champion in Edmonton a couple of years ago. Kirsten Kasper, high-profile American, she was out as well. And Audrey Merle also, the excellent French triathlete. Angelica Olmo of Italy finished 20th. So these 10 women fighting it out for the medals, the honour and the glory. And it was always going to be tactical, but certainly the pace was on again in the water, with Sophie Caldwell, who'd come in 3rd place in the overall standing. She was prominent, but Duffy exactly where she wanted to be, and so too with the powerful Americans, Knibb and Spivey. Knibb once again going hell for leather on the bike. Just took a bit of time to re-wrap the bike, cost her a few seconds. It was Spivey who was out first, but soon all 3 women were running together, and it was the power of Flora Duffy. We've seen it so many times. Duffy bidding for a record-equaling 3rd world title. She could secure that next week, but she secured the gold here in brilliant style. And Knibb got past Spivey on the run to take the silver. And the other American, Taylor Spivey, finishing 3rd. Her disappointment slightly eased after missing the Olympics in Tokyo. Zafiris a solid 4th. Caldwell in 7th, good points for her too.
Flora, you said you came here and you didn't know quite what to expect from the format. You've got to be incredibly happy with the way that played out.
Yeah, it was incredibly brutal, but it was really nice to do something different. Like, I've never done this style of racing, and I think for me, where I'm at in my career, you know, for me to do something new that makes me nervous and unsure is quite nice, and I don't know, kept things really interesting and exciting. But yeah, it was definitely very hard, and I look forward to a standard Olympic distance.
All smiles then from Flora, also from Taylor Spivey, who gave an emotional interview afterwards, still suffering from the disappointment of not being picked by the US team selectors for Tokyo. And Taylor Knibb adding a silver medal to the silver she won at the Olympics in the mixed team relay. No doubting, though, that the best triathlete on the women's side by a mile at the moment is Flora Duffy, and one of the greatest ever. Yet another gold for the collection. That's her 11th win in a championship series event. Checking the final standings then on how they now stand in the overall rankings. Flora Duffy zooms to the top. She's well clear of Spivey and Kingma. Taylor Knibb moves up to 4th place, and battle will be resumed between these three women in Edmonton in 7 days' time at the grand final.